Welcome in to another episode of Morning Edition. Jason Harper, Ted Fate, and Julian Sador here to talk about this. Jason, this. I feel like, Jason, you had the best way to set this up, so I'm going to toss it over to you unexpectedly. Do you remember what you said around, was it 5:45 talking about? It was a quote from a movie.
Oh. All right, so there's either people that say, beautiful, Clark. They either say that with holiday lights.
I knew you'd get it.
Or they say, bah, humbug. Shut them suckers off, man. This is annoying. There's either two camps, right? So there's this guy, this homeowner in Waxhaw, North Carolina, which happens to be my neck of the woods. Got this beautiful home. Look at this. He's got 60,000 LED lights. He's got an hour's worth of a light show. He's got 15 songs in a playlist. You can dial into your car on the radio and listen to this show. Well, it's really super cool, right? I mean, this guy grew up in a Jewish community outside Baltimore, lived in Florida, moved up here, and here he is wanting to be a part of the Christmas celebration with lights. The problem is the HOA, right? The Homeowners Association is like, this is a nuisance. These are private streets. So now he's getting a lot of complaints. So there's this, you got one camp of holiday spirits, a lot of fun. Let's bring in lines and loads of strangers in cars to a neighborhood that you would not normally drive in. Or do you go, we probably shouldn't be doing this?
So
it's cool looking, right?
It is really cool looking.
Yeah.
Come on.
Way more work than the three of us have ever done.
complaints are from just the HOA, neighbors alike. I mean, I know your HOA is usually made up of your neighbors, but is this like the immediate neighbors causing more of the concerns here, or is it just the
So he got a letter from the HOA.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what he's gotten so far. And so he doesn't want to show the letter because of possible litigation. But that is, it addressed their complaint. And so what they're saying is that the roads are owned by the Homeowners Association, so they're technically not public. However, if you're coming through there to deliver, that's what he's saying, if you're coming through to deliver something or to visit somebody to do anything, the roads, there's right of ways for people to pass.
Yeah.
Jason, myself, our chief legal analyst, Khalif Rhodes, the reporter who worked on this story as well, Shakira Speaks, we looked through the whole entire HOA regulations and the bylaws. There's nothing here that explicitly says you cannot do this or that there's anything about roadways and impeding traffic. The guy also says it's like, 3 cars at a time, so it's not like it's really holding up traffic.
Yeah.
They stay for a couple minutes and they keep on going. Oh, it seems like bah humbug. Stop being a Scrooge.
That's what I feel like. There's a Scrooge somewhere on the HOA panel. But again, to your point, Ted, I don't know all the specifics of the complaints. Like, is it the immediate neighbors to the left and right? Does he live on a cul-de-sac? There's so many questions. I would need to drive out there and be like, oh, wow. These people can't get into their driveways at night because of this constant stream of cars. Well, maybe it's not a constant stream of cars, Julia. Maybe it is, like you said, 3 cars. It's not the end of the world, but maybe you got a bah humbug neighbor who didn't do anything, but maybe put out a wreath. And, there could be jealousy. There could be, this is loud at night and it's 9 o'clock. I'm trying to go to bed and I still see car lights. I don't know. Could be a million things.
I am curious as to what the nuisance is, to your point, because first of all, I want to acknowledge when you look at those lights, for anyone who hangs up lights around their house, it's not an easy feat. So I want to acknowledge
This
work.
is not, what he's got going on is not easy. I mean, look at this.
Yeah. So,
Holy
I mean, I'm used to just like the normal string lights. He's got the coordination with the music, and you mentioned, I believe the music plays through a radio station. So it's not like he's blasting these speakers to go with the lights. It's people listening to it in their cars. But how much of a nuisance could it be if, you wait till sundown, let's say 5:30 p.m. into 10 o'clock, traffic is usually low in the neighborhood by then.
So it's daily until 10.
Okay.
Right? 60,000 flashing LEDs, syncing with the playlist of 15 Christmas songs. And again, his guy says 4 cars a night is actually what he said.
Oh, that's not even traffic.
That
Are you
is
kidding me?
So I think 4th year he's doing it. The average time that they stop to watch the lights is about 3 minutes.
And look how big that property is. It's not like this neighborhood. Yeah. By the way, this neighborhood, they're pretty well off, okay? This neighborhood has their own private landing strip and mini airport, okay? So these these are large plots of land. So it's not like your neighbor where you can, where you got 20 feet between two homes.
Yeah.
That amount of lights, yeah. I mean, you'd see that coming in your master bedroom if you're trying to go to bed like we do. But these people have lots of property. But
Is this in a gated community?
No,
no,
not gated community.
there's public access, even though they are private
Like
roads.
you hear my questions. I'm trying to find out the validity of the complaint.
Yeah.
It's either, and again, I just feel like maybe somebody's just jealous.
That's what
Are you jealous because you don't have? I mean, that's
only
a nice
lasts-
setup.
It's only for, let's say, 3 weeks, maybe a month,
Right.
month tops.
It-
And then he's going to take it all down. You got January till Thanksgiving to do nothing if you want. Like, why can't you just enjoy? If he were selling something, let's say he
Right.
was selling tickets to come look at his house for $5 a car. Now that's questionable. I get that. If he did have outdoor speakers, got it.
Right.
If it was causing, neighbors to not be able to get in their driveway, like these are all checklist items. I got it. That all that makes sense to me. But it doesn't sound like any of these things that it's really being problematic.
I want to read a few of the comments that our reporter Shakira Speaks got while she was out there.
Yeah.
From onlookers. One onlooker said, this was a couple, it's not that big of a deal. And right now, there's nobody even coming or going. This man has made a spectacular display for everybody to enjoy. And I cannot understand why any person would not want their kids, their grandkids, to see such beautiful lights. And this is from the guy whose house it is. I just really enjoy it. I did it for my kids several years ago. It's just gotten larger. So he's admitting it's gotten bigger over the years. It's just so fascinating and exciting. And every time somebody gives positive feedback, it's just more fuel to make me want to do it more. I just want to make people happy. And this makes people happy.
That part.
Come on.
I'm going to say it.
Come on.
Do you think somebody in the HOA is just a little bit on a power trip? Like, this doesn't match the theme. Like, is it one of those neighborhoods? The only one.
How many HOAs have you been a part of?
One. I made buddy with the head of the HOA.
That's usually smart.
I think, and this is not an indictment on all homeowners associations, but I feel like with HOAs, with PTAs, you always have the potential for somebody to get a little bit too power hungry, right? It just happens there. This to me is a non-starter, and in fact, I wonder if you were to put it up to a vote for the entire neighborhood.
Now we're talking.
And if you can say over 50% of the neighborhood has a problem with it, okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
But if it's 1 out of 3 members of the HOA,
Yeah, because this guy even said, he goes, listen, I'm not even trying to push like Christmas, a religion, Christianity. He goes, I'm Jewish. He goes, I'm Jewish.
Happy.
I wanted to put it like, listen, with all the crap that we're going through, okay, with violence, with divisiveness around the country and politically, it's Christmas lights.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't get it.
You know the irony of this? The
What?
irony is the HOA is actually going to get the opposite impact because they probably wanted him to stop it because we're talking about it. You folks at home
gonna get
who are
more
watching
people
this
out
right
there.
now, folks who watched our news this morning,
Yeah.
forget the 2-3 cars a night. You're going to have like
people
20
gonna show
cars.
up.
Yeah. This is going to be much more
the
impactful
Arrow
than it
Plantation
originally was.
neighborhood. I'm going to put it out there. The Arrow Plantation neighborhood in Waxhaw. It's on our website. I'm not
Yeah.
giving any information people don't know.
Yeah.
It's a great light display. And two more things from this guy, because I think it's really important, right? This is how much of a good doer he is.
All right.
Right? That he says, you know what? This might be my last year, but you know what? Maybe I'll move the light show to a bigger location.
Let's go.
So viewers can watch
Whoa.
the show undistracted and neighbors can be at peace. And he adds the last thing I want to have an argument about is this. I just want people to enjoy the show. I'm not trying to make it unsafe for anybody.
See, and we talked about with Khalif, our legal expert.
Yeah.
You have to pick as a neighbor. You have to pick what hill are you going to die on.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to fight for when it comes to maybe something you don't agree with or line up with the HOA? Because let's say the HOA finally, maybe there's a stink with a couple neighbors, but overall, 80% of the neighborhood's fine with it. Okay, well, come January 3rd, 4th, 5th, whatever, whenever these lights come down, you have 11 months where you have to live with these people all the time.
Yeah.
if your neighbors are ticked off about this,
Mm-hmm.
and you get it passed where you get to keep your lights up, well, that's great. But what you got to deal with these neighbors for the next 11 months until you put them back up.
Wait,
What's
and they're
that
not gonna
relationship
forget.
going to be like?
Didn't he also say that he does this for Halloween too,
Yeah.
and nobody had an issue?
Oh, it was cool.
Now that's an interesting key.
If you got an issue with one,
Why was Halloween okay, Christmas not?
right,
Mm-hmm.
right.
I feel like with the HOA, they're mad you didn't ask permission. Like they would have said yes, but you didn't ask permission.
He's been doing it for 4 years. It's his 4th year doing it.
Listen, did y'all ever see those old movies? I mean, these are more when I was a kid, so you guys may not have seen the old Police Academy movies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you got a bunch of recruits going to police academy to learn to be cops, right?
Right.
You got some that are horrible at it. You got middle of the road, follow all the rules.
Sure.
And then there's always one guy that gets a little taste of power and gets excited and does everything over the top. Like, you got to bring a gun. We're going to the range today to learn how to shoot a gun. Everyone's got a little pistol. Tackleberry shows up with a bazooka.
Yep.
And he's blowing stuff up. That's how I feel like there's someone in this HOA. Everyone else is kind of doing I want to be a part of this. I want to have a voice for our neighbors. And then you got someone that's on the board that's like, I'm going to take the stroke of this pen and I'm about to do some damage. I didn't make it on Capitol Hill in Washington.
Right.
But I'm going to make sure my power is, I'm going to wield it here in my neighborhood.
Don't be a Grinch.
Don't be that. Don't be that guy.
Not given. There could be something legitimate in that HOA letter. We do not know what it says.
There's still
We have
a lot
never
to
met
be-
members of the HOA, and they have not, given their stance on this. So maybe they have a legitimate reason. But I'm saying, nah. Let the man put up one more. Look at these lights.
Come on.
Let him cook.
Let there be
cook.
light, ladies and gentlemen. Keep it going. 60,000 LEDs.
60,000.
How do you think that electric bill is when that
Good
thing
night.
rolls
Right.
in January?
Hope you know somebody at Duke.
There you go. Well, like you said, it's not a cheap neighborhood. So
That's true. I mean, yeah.
come on. All right, you know what? We're going to squeeze in a break. We'll come back. More Morning Edition right after this. Welcome back into Morning Edition. We talk Christmas lights, obviously. Kids love Christmas. We also talked about the cost probably that guy's paying for his light bill.
Oh, man.
It may pale in comparison to the prices that parents are paying to put their kids into youth sports. So Congress is actually taking a look at this. The average cost for a child to play a sport is now $1,000 a year. That's a 46% increase since 2019. So 6 years ago, right?
That's low. I'm telling you,
That's low.
I was going to say, it probably depends on the sport, too.
Right, 100%. I know $1,000 a year doesn't even get you close in travel baseball. The youth sports industry is a $40 billion a year industry flowing through youth sports. And get this, that's almost twice as much money that is flowing through the NFL.
Wow. You know what? It's interesting, though, because we're four girls. They all did competitive dance at the same time. We've had one of the kids go up to the New Balance National Track thing up in Boston. And so, and you guys have all grown up doing sports stuff as well. Like, if you don't do these club sports outside of school all through the year, like, you almost can't even be on the competitive level. So there's this pressure, I guess, as parents, we feel from other parents that if we see a spark or a little bit of talent in our kid, we feel like we have to keep doing all the next things. It's so expensive, you guys. I mean, it's thousands, per sport, and I think that's only for a couple months. I'd say like 6 months. You're paying thousands.
Yeah.
And then usually you're doing it, there's not really much of an off year.
One thing I see that's not on that, you could pay thousands, but also the time commitment. My friend, his daughter plays travel volleyball every weekend. I'm talking crossing state lines. For these competitions. So not only
hotel food, I mean, look at all that
comes with that. So there's the cost of the sport itself, and then the residuals. Man, you're gonna have to take a second mortgage.
I mean, I think the time commitment that, and Jason, you could probably speak to it. I feel like that just comes with having kids. Like, you're already going to give up the time. Parents are already willing to say, like, I'm okay giving up the time, because that just comes with raising kids. But the money. And here's an interesting thing, too. It creates a discrepancy. Just 24% of kids from low-income homes play recreational sports compared to 40% kids from high-income homes.
Wow.
That's according to a 2021 survey from Sports and Fitness industry association. So you can imagine, since it's gotten more expensive, I wonder what that's done to numbers. On top of it, go ahead, hop
All right,
in.
I got a question.
Yeah.
As we're talking about it, so I'm sitting here thinking, I wonder what percentage of high school athletes that all this money, thousands of dollars, was spent on whatever sport you play.
Yeah.
What percentage goes on to college to play that sport?
Oh shoot, we had it.
I'm sure you're looking probably single digits, right? I bet that number is even take it on to the pro level.
Yeah.
Let's say 8% go to college. That's probably even too high.
Yeah.
I bet what percentage of that 8% actually makes it to the NFL or makes it to an Olympic team or, volleyball, whatever the thing is. What'd you find? Because I want to come back with how low that percentage actually gets. All right, what'd you find?
I thought I had remembered the number correctly, the percentage, and I was like, I can't be right because it seems far too low. No, it's right. Only about 2% of high school athletes earn an athletic scholarship for college, and even fewer, around 1%, get a full ride.
Okay, so 2% go to college.
Now
you take that 2%, how many of that 2% will go on to make any money or a living? Now granted, I know there's NIL. Right now there's NIL,
well,
so that's a little different.
If you get a scholarship, right, or even a part, then job done as parents. You have the price of sending a kid to a 4-year institution now. If you can get a full scholarship, but that's, again, 1%.
I know.
2%.
So there's that
scholarship.
So here's what I'm saying. So you take that, now that you know that only 2% make it to college to play whatever sport. Let's take your friend, Ted, that's doing travel volleyball.
Yeah.
I wish at some point, right, everyone knows how Simon Cowell on American Idol, how he would be very bold and brash, but very honest. And it took a lot of people years to agree or disagree with Simon Cowell and go, how could he tell this kid that they don't have any talent, that they should find another industry to get in? And everyone at home's going, that hurt.
Yeah.
But he was honest, right? You're saving this kid. Maybe he needs to redirect his time and money. There should be a person, and maybe that's a parent. How do you have that conversation with someone around 16? I mean, by 14 to 16, you know whether a child has an ultra-level gifting that could send them not only to college, but maybe beyond that. At what point does someone go, I want my kid to have fun, but I'm not going to invest $10,000 a year. They're not going to go to college for this sport. I'm going to be the Simon Cowell and step up and go, I love you.
Yeah.
You're going to have to pick a lane, and this one might not be it for you.
But okay, but I'm going to counter that, because as somebody who played at the junior college level, didn't get any scholarship to play, the level is like, the reality is your kid may be good enough to play travel sports. And in fact, maybe a really good player at on the travel sports circuit.
Sure.
That kid may never get a scholarship, but they're good enough to play with their friends. And if you're playing travel baseball, travel basketball, football with these flag football leagues that go all up and down the East Coast and all around the country, right? You're playing with these kids for a couple of years. They're your friends. So are you going to tell your kid, hey, we just don't have the money for you to be with your friends? Not about even playing college. The kid's good enough to make the team. He's good enough to play with his friends or her. And you're going to tell him, hey, pick a different lane because you're not good enough to play in college. That, to me, removes what it's all about. It's for playing for the love of the sport and playing with their friends and building lifelong relationships.
I hear that. I think you can't do it, though, if financially, if you're stretching yourself, if you're putting yourself into debt, if you're unable to do it financially,
right?
I think that's an honest conversation.
100%.
It's
I agree
an honest
with that.
conversation. Now, if you have the means to do so, like you mentioned the stats, I understand the higher income families. If you have the discretionary income, you get to do it. Go for it. But if you don't, you're causing yourself harm, right? Where you could have an honest conversation. And for a lot of these parents, they put their kids in a sport all year round, right? They want them to be an expert in that sport. You could add more variety. You could add other sports, which actually, and I would love to pull up the numbers. I don't have them available.
No, but
I've seen research shows that variety helps.
But pause. You're adding it as a parent, trying to dictate what your kid wants. If your kid just wants to play football, let the kid play football. But
you can do a rec league for $200 for the season.
It doesn't have to be.
I'm not going to put them in travel for $2,000 a year. That doesn't include all the other.
So
it is not worth going in debt.
Okay.
Yeah.
For my kids to hang out with friends. No way, no how. Not even close. Now that I look back on it.
So if you're setting it up for a kid to have a chance to play high school, right? Okay. And I love looking back on my high school years, have friends to this day that I played high school sports with. If you want them to have a chance to make the high school team, right, then they probably need to be playing in a high level at middle school to have a chance to play on and make the team. At competitive high schools, that kid may not make the team unless he's been playing at a high level through middle school leading up to it. So you're going to set your kid up probably, unfortunately, for a chance not to make the high school team if you don't pay up front to make sure they're getting that coaching.
You're right. There is that chance, and that would be awful. But if you can't financially afford it, there's no way I would tell someone.
Why can't we put some restrictions on these dang
Okay,
things?
now we're opening up the door for a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, if you can't financially afford it, you better not go get it. And I'm looking at this now as a 50-year-old, guys. I really am.
Go ahead.
Do not go into debt and get a credit card just so that your kid at 13 years old might have the chance at making a team later in life. Do I want that? Yes, I do. I want them to understand, which is another conversation we're going to talk about, is being financially smart is so important. You're giving your kid a cool opportunity, but the parents behind the scenes are stressing over bills and everything else. It's a tough one, guys.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
Julian, I'm with you in the fact of wanting to support your child and give them the best opportunity. I made my high school football team not because my parents put me into travel, because I spent the summer with my cousin who played college ball. He spent time with me and taught me how to play football. There's so many.
But Ted, what did you also say? What would have been your chances of going to college and playing football had you started early and had instruction?
Oh, it would have been so much better. But my parents, it wasn't a lack of finances. It was a lack of knowledge that my parents didn't have.
Knowing your parents, had they seen the cost, they would have been like, no.
Probably.
Yeah.
But still, that would still be the conversation because, and we would talk about the articulation for my parents to me. My parents are immigrants. It was a little different. But the explanation, right? Just as Jason's saying, this is an opportunity to go through the journey with your child. You love them. You want the best for them. Do what you can, right? But if you can't pay for it, what are other ways we can do it? I played football, sure, not in organized leagues. I played it through recess. I played it with all these kids through elementary school and middle school, which gave me some fundamentals by the time I started practicing in high school with my cousin. So I wasn't starting from nothing.
But you also never got to a point where you could have started on your team.
Oh, for sure.
And had you had that instruction, you probably could have.
Probably. But that is unfortunately
what
I have to sit with, not because of the finances. My parents, they wanted me to focus on books. So that's not a financial limit. It's more of a, we prefer you to be a smart kid, not an athlete. Okay, that was their choice, not mine.
Jason,
that wants to support their kid.
Do we even have time for our last topic, or are we capped out?
We're going to have a couple minutes. I mean, not long. Not long. We need to table this one. We got much more that we could do a whole show just on this one topic, guys.
Gosh, you know what? If you coach travel, come on the show and explain. Give us a case why
we should spend the money.
There we go.
I like that.
We'll be back with more Queen City.
All right.
News Morning Edition after this. Welcome back. We got about 2 minutes left, so speed round. The New Year's resolution. Teddy, you always want to talk. Teddy, go first.
Oh, okay. Here we go. My New Year's resolution, not really a resolution, but the continuation of back to the routine. We just moved to a new area and getting the lay of the land. So my resolution is get back to those habits, lean into them, and stay consistent all year long.
Boom, Harp.
Wow, I like that. Y'all, I'm turning 50 this year. It's a big one. It's working on me.
Okay.
Fitness is a big one. I've already talked to Teddy about this. Somehow we're going to work. I don't know what it looks like, Julian. He wants to help me. Help me help you. It's like Jerry Maguire. I don't know if he's going to show me the Quan or what, but I need to get in better shape. I need to be fabulous in 50.
Okay.
So I'm going to get into the gym.
There you go. I kind of have a fitness-related one, too. I recently bought some Hokas about 2 weeks ago. I've been running. And so, I've hated running. Nobody's chasing me. My goal is to at least run a couple 5Ks. And about 5 years ago, I ran a half marathon. So maybe if the 5Ks go well, I'll be running in the Charlotte Half Marathon next year.
All
right. That does it for a Morning Edition. We will catch you guys, at least 3 of us, next year.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.